Welcome, gents. What happens when the strongest person finally decides to put the weight down? This is the question at the heart of understanding Sigma males. Society has a way of glorifying those who carry everyone else's problems, praising them for their endless sacrifice. But no one asks what it costs the person who spends their life holding up the world that is not theirs. The truth is, many men have broken under that weight, and many have lost themselves in the process. The Sigma male refuses to follow that path. He knows something most people overlook. Carrying burdens that do not belong to you does not make you noble. It makes you disappear. It erases your time, your peace, and your strength while leaving you with nothing in return. The Sigma male does not carry what is not his because he understands that people must carry their own lessons, their own consequences, and their own responsibilities. To rob them of that is to keep them from growing. This choice is not selfish. It is survival. It is wisdom. It is the courage to say no in a world that constantly demands yes. It takes strength to lift the weight, but it takes even greater strength to set it down and keep walking. If you are watching this, and you have been drowning under the pressure of carrying others, take this as encouragement. You are not weak for letting go. You are wise for protecting your spirit. The world is lighter when you stop holding what was never yours. Let's get started, gents. Number 1, they see the trap in invisible contracts. Have you ever noticed how people sometimes expect you to carry responsibilities you never agreed to? It is like someone quietly sliding a heavy bag into your hands and then walking away, pretending it has always been yours. Sigma males are quick to recognize this trap. They know society has a way of creating invisible contracts, unspoken agreements where you are expected to pick up burdens simply because you are capable or available. Take, for example, the workplace. There is always that one person who never finishes their tasks, but somehow convinces others to stay late and clean up their mess. Most people reluctantly agree, fearing that saying no will make them look selfish or lazy. A Sigma male does not fall for this. He knows that once you say yes to carrying a weight that is not yours, people will keep piling more on you. Before you know it, you are carrying the workload of 3 people while others enjoy the freedom you gave up. It happens in families too. Sometimes relatives push emotional or financial responsibilities onto the one who seems strongest. The Sigma male may love his family deeply, but he understands that love does not mean becoming the family mule. He chooses to help with wisdom, not blind sacrifice. What makes this so powerful is that Sigma males refuse to live by rules they never signed up for. They are not afraid to look at someone and say, "That is not mine to carry." By stepping out of invisible contracts, they protect their freedom and energy. And the truth is, anyone watching this can do the same. You are allowed to tear up the agreements you never agreed to in the first place. Number 2, they know sympathy can become a leash. On the surface, sympathy looks noble. You see someone struggling and your heart tells you to step in and help. There is nothing wrong with kindness, but Sigma males understand something that most people miss. When sympathy is given without thought, it can easily turn into a leash. Suddenly, you are not helping out of choice anymore. You are being pulled, controlled, and expected to always show up at the expense of yourself. Think about that friend who always calls when they are in crisis. At first you pick up every call, you give advice, you even drive across town at midnight to calm them down. But after a while you realize that they never take responsibility for their choices. They expect you to be their permanent emotional firefighter. What started as kindness slowly becomes captivity. You are chained to their chaos, and they use your sympathy as the rope. Sigma males cut that rope before it ever tightens. They know that if you let people use sympathy as a leash, they will drag you into places you do not belong. A man who values his freedom refuses to let compassion turn into control. He will care, but he will not be controlled. This is where many people struggle. They feel guilty for saying no, but guilt is not a compass. Wisdom is. The Sigma male understands that true help does not come from being available every time someone falls apart. True help is encouraging people to stand on their own 2 feet. If you have ever felt drained because you cared too much, take this lesson. Your heart is a gift, not a chain. Do not let sympathy turn into slavery. Learn to care without being captured. Number 3, they have tasted the weight of false responsibility. Most Sigma males are not cold or uncaring. In fact, many of them became the way they are because they once carried too much. At some point in their lives, they picked up responsibilities that never belonged to them, believing it was the right thing to do. And what did they learn? That false responsibility crushes you slowly, the way a heavy backpack wears you down after miles of walking. Picture this: a young man constantly covering for his co-worker who shows up late and never meets deadlines. At first, he thinks he is being helpful, but after months of extra hours and endless stress, he realizes the company sees him as the dependable one and ignores the slacker. His co-worker never grows and he is left exhausted. That is false responsibility. It also happens in families. A Sigma male might have been the child who stepped in when the adults failed. He carried roles too big for his age, whether emotional or financial. That kind of early weight teaches a hard truth. Just because you can carry something does not mean you should. The key difference is that once he has tasted the bitterness of false responsibility, he refuses to go back. He knows what it feels like to lose yourself under someone else's load, and he has no desire to repeat that mistake. This is why Sigma males guard their energy so fiercely. They are not selfish, they are experienced. They have already seen where blind responsibility leads, and they have chosen another path. If you are listening and feel like you are carrying more than you should, take this as a warning. Do not wait until the weight breaks you. Question whether the burden is truly yours or whether you picked it up because no one else would. Let go of what does not belong to you. You will not lose anything by dropping false responsibility. You will only regain yourself. Number 4, they believe growth is not transferable. One of the sharpest insights Sigma males carry is that growth cannot be borrowed, gifted, or transferred. Each person has to go through their own lessons, their own struggles, and their own seasons of discomfort to truly evolve. You cannot lift someone else's weight in life and expect them to grow muscles from it. The Sigma male understands this deeply, which is why he refuses to carry burdens that are not his. Think of the gym. If you walk in and see a man struggling with a barbell, you might feel tempted to step in and lift it for him. But if you do, he never gets stronger. He might thank you for a moment, but when he faces the same weight again, he will still be weak. Life works the same way. If you keep solving someone else's problems, they never learn the lessons those problems were designed to teach. Many people confuse love with rescue. They believe that protecting someone from every consequence is an act of kindness. But Sigma males see the truth. Shielding people from reality does not protect them. It cripples them. It creates dependence instead of resilience. That is why a Sigma male will often step back, even when he has the strength to carry the load. He understands that it is not his task to rob another person of their growth. Real care is not about carrying someone. It is about letting them struggle, stumble, and eventually rise stronger. This approach can seem harsh to outsiders, but it is actually a deeper form of respect. The Sigma male respects people enough to let them fight their own battles. He knows that victory only feels real when it is earned. If you have ever felt guilty for not rescuing someone, remember this truth. Your refusal to carry their burden may be the greatest gift you give them. It forces them to step into their own strength. Growth belongs to each person and no one else can live it for them. Number 5, they understand the power of selective detachment. Detachment is often misunderstood. People hear the word and assume it means not caring or being cold. But Sigma males show us a different angle. They practice something I call selective detachment. It means caring without being consumed. It means offering support without drowning in someone else's storm. Imagine you are standing on the shore while a friend struggles in the water. Most people would jump in immediately, even if they cannot swim. They get pulled under and now both are in danger. The Sigma male takes a wiser route. He throws a rope, he guides from the shore, but he does not allow himself to be dragged into the same chaos. That is selective detachment in action. In everyday life, this might look like listening to a friend vent about their problems without making those problems your own. It could mean showing empathy to a coworker but refusing to take on their undone work. It is the ability to care while keeping your own peace intact. The beauty of selective detachment is that it keeps both people honest. The one in need does not get an easy escape from their struggles, and the Sigma male does not sacrifice his stability. It becomes a balance where help exists, but ownership stays where it belongs. Many people fail to see that drowning with someone is not proof of loyalty, it is simply two lives sinking instead of one. Sigma males refuse to call that love. They believe the truest form of strength is being able to stand close without being consumed. If you are the type who gives until you are empty, this lesson is for you. You can care without collapsing. You can love without losing yourself. That is what selective detachment teaches. It is not a lack of heart. It is the wisdom to protect your heart while still showing up for others in a healthier way. Number 6. They know that rescuing often turns into enabling. At first glance, rescuing someone seems like the right thing to do. You see them in trouble, you step in, and you feel like a hero. But Sigma males have seen the dark side of this pattern. They know that when you keep rescuing someone, you're not helping them anymore. You're enabling them to stay weak, careless, and dependent. Think about a student who never studies for exams because they know their friend will always share the answers. The rescuer feels useful, even noble. But what happens? The student never learns discipline. Their weakness continues because someone else keeps saving them. The rescuer is not really helping, they are feeding the problem. Sigma males refuse to play that role. They understand that stepping in again and again does not fix anything. It creates a cycle where the person in trouble never feels the need to grow. Why would they? When someone else is always bailing them out. This shows up in relationships too. Maybe one partner constantly overspends and the other always cleans up the financial mess. The cycle repeats endlessly. The overspender never learns because the rescuer never stops paying. Sigma males see through this trap. They know that love without accountability is not real love. So instead of rescuing, they choose to step back. They let people taste the reality of their actions. That might look harsh on the surface, but it is actually the only way true growth can happen. If you're watching this and you find yourself always stepping in, ask yourself a hard question. Are you helping or are you enabling? Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is step aside and let life do the teaching. That is not abandonment, that is wisdom. And Sigma males live by it. Number 7, they measure energy like currency. For Sigma males, energy is not something to waste casually. They treat it with the same seriousness that others reserve for money. Every decision, every responsibility, every favor asked of them is weighed carefully. Is this worth the investment of my time and energy, or will it drain me with nothing in return? Think of how people handle their bank accounts. A wise person does not hand out money to everyone who asks. They save, they invest, and they spend only where it matters. Sigma males think of their energy the same way. If they spend it recklessly by carrying burdens that belong to others, they end up bankrupt in spirit. Take an everyday example. At work, when a team project begins to fall apart, everyone scrambles to find the one dependable person who can fix things. Often that dependable person gets drained while others relax. A Sigma male will not allow this. He will contribute, but he will not carry the entire load while others slack off. He knows that his energy must be preserved for goals that align with his purpose. Even in friendships, this principle is clear. If a friend repeatedly drags him into the same problems without making changes, the Sigma male will quietly pull back. Why? Because pouring energy into someone who refuses to grow is like pouring water into a cracked pot. No matter how much you give, it never holds. What makes this so powerful is that it is not about selfishness. It is about sustainability. Just like money needs careful management, energy must be guarded so it can be used wisely. If you often feel exhausted, maybe it is because you are spending your energy on the wrong places and the wrong people. Learn from Sigma males. Start asking yourself, is this worth my energy? Once you begin to see your energy as currency, you stop letting others spend it for you. Number 8, they see how pity can be a weapon. Most people think pity is harmless. Someone looks sad, broken, or helpless, and you feel sorry for them. Your instinct is to step in and carry some of their weight. But Sigma males know that pity, when misused, can be one of the sharpest weapons people wield to control others. Think of that person who always plays the victim. They constantly share how unfair life has been to them, not because they want solutions, but because they want someone else to do the work for them. They know that if they look pitiful enough, someone will eventually feel guilty and step in. That guilt becomes the hook, and once you bite, you are trapped in their cycle. Sigma males refuse to take that bait. They understand that pity, when used as a weapon, is not about need, but about manipulation. They look past the tears, the drama, and the stories, and they ask themselves a simple question. Is this genuine or is it performance? If it is performance, they walk away. This does not mean Sigma males are cold. They care deeply, but they care with discernment. They will help someone who is genuinely trying but struggling. What they will not do is reward someone for using pity as a tool to escape accountability. Imagine giving money to a friend who never works and always claims life is unfair. Each time they tell the same story, and each time you cover their bills. Eventually you realize that your pity has become their paycheck. Sigma males see this pattern instantly and cut it off. The truth is, pity without boundaries destroys both the giver and the receiver. The giver loses peace and resources, while the receiver loses the chance to grow stronger. That is why Sigma males keep their compassion clean. They refuse to let pity become a leash around their neck. If you have ever felt tricked into helping someone who never changes, you have experienced pity used as a weapon. Take the Sigma lesson. Do not let pity blind you. Care, but care wisely. Number 9. They prefer being a mirror, not a mule. When people struggle, most expect someone to step in and carry their load. Many willingly play the mule, dragging along problems that do not belong to them just to keep the peace. Sigma males take a very different approach. Instead of being the mule who carries, they choose to be the mirror that reflects. What does that mean? It means they do not simply pick up someone's weight and run with it. Instead, they hold up a mirror so the person can see themselves clearly. They reflect back the choices, the patterns, and the behaviors that created the situation in the first place. This does not always make them popular, but it makes them honest. Picture a friend who always complains about being broke. Most people would lend money, hoping it fixes things. A Sigma male will listen, then calmly ask, "Where is your money going every month?" He reflects the truth instead of covering it. He knows that lending money would only mask the problem, not solve it. By holding up the mirror, he forces the friend to face their own habits. This approach works in relationships as well. Instead of endlessly carrying emotional baggage, the Sigma male helps people see where that baggage comes from. He does not carry the weight of another person's unresolved issues, but he gives them a chance to see it clearly so they can take responsibility. Why is this powerful? Because being a mirror empowers the other person to grow. Being a mule only drains the one who carries. Sigma males would rather see people rise by facing their reflection than watch them stay stuck while riding on someone else's back. If you find yourself constantly carrying loads that do not belong to you, stop and ask yourself, am I being a mule or am I being a mirror? One drains you, the other frees you. Sigma males always choose the mirror. Number 10. They know the silent punishment of overgiving. Overgiving is one of those quiet traps that many people fall into without realizing it. You give a little at first, then more, and before you know it, giving becomes your default mode. You bend, you stretch, you carry everyone else's weight, thinking you are being kind. But Sigma males have learned the truth the hard way. Overgiving never ends with gratitude, it ends with silent punishment. What is that punishment? It is the resentment that builds in your own heart. The more you give without balance, the more invisible you become. People start expecting it instead of appreciating it. They stop seeing your effort because they have grown used to your sacrifice. That is when bitterness creeps in. Picture this. In a family setting, there is always that one sibling who carries all the responsibilities, makes all the sacrifices, and never complains. At first, they feel proud of being dependable, but years later they feel drained and overlooked. Meanwhile, others enjoy the comfort that came from their effort. The silent punishment is that the giver feels both unappreciated and trapped. Sigma males refuse to live like that. They know their limits and protect them. They understand that giving beyond your capacity is not generosity, it is self-destruction. They would rather give less with balance and maintain respect than give endlessly and end up invisible. This is why a Sigma male often surprises people with the word no. It is not cruelty, it is preservation. It is how he keeps his giving genuine and not poisoned by resentment. If you are someone who has been drained by overgiving, let this be a wake-up call. You do not have to carry until you collapse. Real love and real kindness come with balance. Giving should never erase you. Sigma males know this, and that is why their relationships often stay cleaner and healthier. They do not give to the point of hating themselves later. Remember, the world will take as much as you offer. The only one who can stop the silent punishment of overgiving is you. Number 11. They do not confuse loyalty with self-destruction. Loyalty is a powerful word. It is often painted as the highest virtue, the thing that makes relationships and friendships unbreakable. But Sigma males see through the illusion that loyalty means sacrificing yourself endlessly. They know that true loyalty has limits, and once it begins to destroy your spirit, it is no longer loyalty, it is self-destruction. Think about a friend who keeps making reckless decisions, expecting you to always clean up after them. Many people keep showing up, telling themselves it is loyalty. But what is really happening? They are slowly breaking themselves while the friend keeps repeating the same mistakes. The relationship becomes one-sided and toxic. Sigma males step away from this pattern. The same happens in workplaces. A company might demand loyalty from employees while giving nothing in return. The loyal worker stays late every night, misses time with family, and sacrifices health just to prove dedication. Years later, the company replaces them without hesitation. Sigma males see this coming and set boundaries. They know that giving yourself away blindly is not loyalty. It is exploitation. For them, loyalty means standing with people you value, but never at the cost of your own well-being. It means support with wisdom, not blind devotion. They will walk beside you, encourage you, and even fight for you. But they will not carry a weight that crushes them in the name of loyalty. This is what makes their relationship stronger, not weaker. Because when a Sigma male stays loyal, you know it is real. It is not born out of guilt or obligation, but from genuine choice. He is not trapped in loyalty. He chooses it freely, and that makes it even more powerful. If you are listening and you have confused loyalty with endless sacrifice, learn this lesson. True loyalty never requires you to destroy yourself. It is possible to stand with others without losing yourself in the process. Protect your loyalty so that it stays clean, not costly. That is the Sigma way. Number 12. They reject emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is one of the sneakiest ways people shift their burdens onto others. It comes in many forms. Guilt trips, silent treatments, exaggerated sadness, or lines like, "If you really cared, you would do this for me." Most people fall for it because they do not want to be seen as cold. Sigma males, however, spot this game instantly and they refuse to play along. Take a common scenario. A relative constantly borrows money and never pays it back. When you finally say no, they frown and say, "I thought family was supposed to help each other." That is not a request anymore. That is emotional blackmail designed to make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. Many would give in, but a Sigma male calmly holds his ground. He knows that guilt is not proof of love, and love is not supposed to be used as a weapon. The same happens in friendships. Someone might say, "You are the only one I can count on," every time they are in crisis. At first it sounds flattering, but over time you realize it is not about trust, it is about control. Sigma males catch this pattern quickly. They will offer support when it makes sense, but they refuse to let someone guilt them into becoming a permanent savior. What makes this stand out is the way Sigma males handle it. They do not explode in anger, nor do they cave in. They respond with calm clarity, drawing a line without apology. They know that emotional blackmail loses power the moment you stop reacting to it. If you have ever felt pressured into saying yes when every part of you wanted to say no, you know the sting of emotional blackmail. Learn from the Sigma approach. Your boundaries are not up for negotiation. You can care deeply for others without allowing yourself to be manipulated. The moment you stop responding to guilt, you take your freedom back. Number 13. They value freedom more than approval. Many people live their lives chasing approval. They bend their backs under the weight of others' expectations just to hear words like "thank you" or "you're such a good person." It feels rewarding in the moment, but the cost is heavy. You lose your freedom. Sigma males understand this trade-off better than most, and they refuse to sacrifice their freedom just to be liked or praised. Think about how often people say yes when they want to say no. A friend asks for a favor, and instead of being honest, they agree because they fear disappointing someone. That small yes becomes another burden. Over time, it adds up until their life is filled with commitments that do not even belong to them. They get the approval, but they lose the life they actually wanted to live. Sigma males will not play that game. They know that approval is temporary, but freedom is permanent. Saying no might upset someone in the short term, but it keeps your life aligned with your values in the long run. They choose the long-term peace of freedom over the short-term sugar rush of approval. Picture this in the workplace. Everyone volunteers for extra tasks to impress the boss, but the Sigma male steps back and asks, "Does this fit my priorities?" If it doesn't, he declines. He might not be the most praised in the moment, but he remains the most balanced and respected in the long run. The irony is that this approach often earns Sigma males a deeper kind of respect. People eventually realize that his yes means something because it is rare and real. He does not say yes to be liked, he says yes because he means it. If you often feel trapped by other people's expectations, take this lesson to heart. Approval fades quickly, but freedom lasts. Stop trading your freedom for claps that do not matter tomorrow. Choose your path the way Sigma males do. Approval may feel sweet, but freedom is the true prize. In final words, at the heart of it all, Sigma males are not men who turned away from the world out of bitterness. They are men who finally understood that carrying what does not belong to them only weakens the very people they are trying to help. They are the Atlas who decided to drop the world, not because he lacked strength, but because he realized that true strength is knowing what to carry and what to leave behind. Every point we have explored leads back to one truth. Sigma males protect their mind, their time, and their peace because they know those things cannot be replaced. They do not waste energy trying to rescue people who refuse to rescue themselves. They refuse to drown in responsibilities that were never theirs. They step back from the noise so they can hear their own voice clearly. And in doing so, they remind us all of something we often forget. You are allowed to let go. You are not weak for refusing to be someone's crutch forever. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. You are not selfish for protecting your peace. You are wise for knowing that your spirit cannot flourish under the weight of burdens that are not yours. So let this be encouragement for you. If you have been carrying too much, if you have been bending until you are close to breaking, learn from the Sigma male. Put the weight down, walk lighter. Focus on what is truly yours to carry. You will find freedom, clarity, and strength you never knew you had. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.